an executive member, instead of encouraging that, basically he was saying, hey, you know what? I mean, he's already telling us that he supported the re-electing Dabo as the Secretary General of the party, not even allowing the process. In other words, they were discouraging the idea of anybody running against the man. And you know what is sad about this whole thing? I'm so they're not gonna like, I mean, and I'm gonna deal with that, and we're gonna deal with the Sabali issue, is, you know, Gambian politics is at a point that, forget about reforms, you know, nothing is gonna happen in that country. And for some of us living outside, whether even you're a UDP supporter or an independent, I mean, sometimes you feel like, you know what, let me let those people have it and let me take care of my business. Because we know that Barrow is not the solution to our country. It's not going to transform that country. Nothing is going to happen. And some of us are hoping that we have a viable opposition that can actually come in and challenge the status quo. But when you look at the United Democratic Party and the way they do their business, and you'll be like, what the hell? I mean, they're no different, absolutely no different than what we have. If you want to transform and bring in change, you need someone, an alternative. And the reason why, because they are the only viable, effective opposition that can even have a slight chance of removing Barrow. But if you see the same thing, is the same Ousainou, nobody dare Dabo Dorong, nobody dares. And they will tell you that it's all democracy. Democracy, my foot. It's not democracy. It is not. Nobody, he ran unopposed, my good friend. What does that tell you?
That tells that the
unopposed.
People, well, I mean, I'm not going to look too much into this. Again, said. Again,
then what are you going to, come on now?
No.
My good friend,
because, you know, hold on. So yeah, we have to be fair. the whole rumors about, you know, Talib running for flag bearer. As I said, this is more administrative. You structure, position your executive for 2016.
But people were running for office.
2026.
No, but don't get into the flag bearer. We're not talking about flag bearer. That's something totally different. We're talking about.
But you said Ousainou Duran. But Ousainou is the Secretary General, right? I mean, the Secretary General. You want a new. What are you doing? Saying is UDP, at least based on what you're saying, is you're concerned that we maintain the status quo and there is no change. It's changes within.
But what did Ousainou say prior to 2021? This is it for me. This is my last hurrah. All right? This party, past 2021, we're going to bring in a new leadership. That's what we were told. Now, what I am basically saying is, and then you call it internal democracy all we want, but people are not crazy. We know what is going on. I mean, when the name of Talib was put out there as a potential leader of the party, they went after him. In fact, there were UDP supporters who would definitely even want to see Talib lose in KMC. They'll tell you that, just to make sure that he would never have the chance to be the leader of the party. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? The spokesperson, even before the Congress, you were already picking. You're not even allowing the process to go on. There was not a single election that happened in the Congress, not that I'm aware of. Everything is negotiation behind the table, discouraging people to run.
Maybe you're not following, Musa.
Why is that different? Why is that different from what we have now? I mean, I just don't see it, my friend. I mean, there is no internal democracy. UDP is not the alternative that they would want us to believe. That the Gambian people,
Musa,
you guys...
if I may intervene, last Congress, a few names came up and it was officially published that these are the people who are running for the Secretary General and party leader. So the process happened. It's just that Dabo was picked.
You mean this last in Georgetown?
No, the one.
I'm not talking about the last. I'm talking about this.
No.
Well,
Sir Yunus. Yeah, Sir Yunus. Here is what I understand. Even the Kemo Bojangs, the other young lady, they put it out there. They said, I am vying for the youth president of United Democratic Congress. Please, I'm seeking your votes. There is the delegates pick who they want. I am not part of that. I am not privy to deliberations and internal regulations that are, but I can say at least if we're going to say it's democracy, we have to look at the other side too, the folks that are mandated, who are delegates within that Congress to choose who they believe would represent them. So we have to respect that. Democracy goes both ways. But we cannot, we cannot say, hold on. We cannot say for sure, oh, democracy is good when we say at the top echelon we need to change. Well, the internal, the internal mix that if the delegate, I don't have the voting right.
I'm not saying that.
Eunice doesn't have it. Anybody but the folks that are choose the delegates by each constituency. When out there, they choose who they bet. And even my good friend, Keja was vying for some type of PR personnel. I don't know whether he was picked, but this is out there. They all people who vie, people who don't want to vie for any position, don't want to do it. But at least what I'm trying to say is, if we say democracy, government for the people and by the people, we have to also respect the delegates who have the authority to pick who they want them to represent.
My good friend, the delegates were never, you see, democracy is only credible when people run for office. But when you discourage people running for the top job, I mean, the only way that democracy could have existed within the UDP, if Mr. Dabo would have stuck with his pronouncements, that I am not, this is the last hurrah, and allow people, potential leaders, to go out there and give the delegates an opportunity. Now, if that were to happen, I'd be like, this is a party that actually believes in democracy. But Mr. Dabo is standing on the way, my friend. And anyone who even dare think about running for the office, they come after you like nobody's business. You call that democracy, my friend? What we have in the NPP and look, this is the thing, and Eunice, I'll allow you to come in. You know, the United Democratic Party came out of two parties, the PPP and the NCP. We all know what the PPP was about. It was about Jawara and Jawara alone for 30 good years. I mean, that's the tradition, that's the culture of the PPP. And then you have Sirif Mustapha Diba, NCP. For years, election after election, he was the go-to guy. Nobody else would dare challenge Sirif Mustapha Diba. Now, you want to tell me that the United Democratic Party is any different from these two parties? They're not. I mean, it's the same old, the same culture. And then they would say, if you don't select Usainu, somehow the party is going to fall apart. Says who? Why would it fall apart? Do you really believe in the party of what it stands for as an effective, viable opposition party? Or do you believe that its only viability rests in the shoulders of, Mr. Dabo, who has done a lot, not only for the party, but for the Gambia? Sacrifice a lot. Nobody questions that. That is why it's unfortunate. The man is unwilling to step aside and talk to his supporters and the delegates and say, look, the party has to move on. It reminds me of Jawara Adman Sokonko. Everybody was running all over the place crying, please don't go. Kind of thing. What has that yielded us as a country? Nothing. Is it any different from what we're seeing now? And this is supposed to be the transformational party with the intellectuals and that they're going to build policies and change the country. That zilch is the same old, same old. It would have been nice for Talib and his supporters to challenge Mr. Dabo, talk directly to the delegates, what he intended to do, how he intends to expand the party, that he's a sellable, a winnable candidate that will transform the country, a young guy with a lot of potential. The party wouldn't allow anything like that to happen. That is blasphemous. You call that democracy? Yunus, come on in now, bro. Let's put it on the table. You can love a party and at the same time speak the honest to God truth. It's good for our country, it's good for our politics. Brother Yunus,
go ahead. You got the floor. I will respond.
I listen to Musa. You've made tangible arguments about this. that we probably need change of leadership and a new direction for the party and for the country. But Dabo is an iconic figure for the UDP. His presence as at the head means a lot for the party. He is the source of gravity. You can say it like that. And he earned us in the sense that you've given an example of PPP and NCP, but Dabo's case is different. Dabo's first 20 years as a party leader was a time that no other person would dare vie for the UDP leadership. It will be extremely surprising if anyone would show any desire to replace Dabo at the time. And that 2 decades of him being at the helm of UDP make him like this a pillar that is holding the party. And the best succession for Dabo would be when he is president, and he can have a strong vice president who will then take over from him anytime he wants to retire. But Dabo is still, he is in charge, but he is not repressive to anybody in terms of ideas, in terms of contribution. Dabo, even someone as useless as Yunus, Dabo has an open door policy for Yunus. If I want to call Dabo, I can call him anytime. And any of my suggestions, he don't see it as foolish. He takes it on board, and that's what I like about him. So he's not just a leader, but he's a conduit for all the aspiration of the UDP members to contribute in advancing the vision of the party. So in those kind of situation, I don't think like a change of a leader is absolutely crucial. He can be there and continue to guide the party and provide that source of stability for all of us. I think he's doing that really well. I don't know what the future will be if he wants to run for elections in 2026. I think if he is fit mentally and physically as he is now, I see no reason why he cannot. But he is just gonna be that figure who will implement everything that the UDP supporters want, and anyone has a way of contributing in that, and he will listen to it. We have a brilliant manifesto that we looked into. We created a 5-point agenda that we believe would have transformed the country, and that is something that Dabo believed in, and that is something that Yunus Hydra believes in. So if Dabo was given the chance, all he needs to do is to allow people to facilitate the implementation of those strategic plans for the UDP, whilst he's there to stabilize the party. And like you said, Talib probably had shown intention of running the party, but I don't think he's officially done it. If he really believes that he's the man,
it was shut down.
no, but that's what I'm saying. If he believed that he is the man for the job, obviously not everybody will buy his vision, and people will challenge him on that. That should not stop him from putting his name forward. So I think Dabo is there for stability before chaos.
So the only way the party is going to be stable if Dabo is at the helm. But again, the issue is not whether one has access to Dabo. The issue is not whether he's a good man. The issue is not whether Dabo has sacrificed for the country. So before Sarian comes in, I mean, that's not the fundamental issue. The issue is the United Democratic Party is no different from the parties of yesteryear that kind of die sudden death, like the PPP and the NCP. And the United Democratic Party under the leadership of Dabo is no different from some of these African leaders that's hung on. I mean, basically saying, opposition leaders, whether the guy that just lost the election in Kenya. I mean, it's the same makeup. They just run and run and run and run. They don't allow. Now, you talk about, for instance, Nelson Mandela. He was a leader of the party. You talked about Dabo being a leader during the Jammeh years for 20 years. Yeah, I get that. Nelson Mandela for years and years. I mean, in Robben Island prison. But when he came out, ran whatever he had to do and step aside. Remember, that's what people are saying is, don't tell me that the viability of the party just rests the shoulder of one man and nobody dares to challenge him. To me, that's what makes me so hopeless when it comes to Gambian politics and where we are going as a country. Because what we have is horrible, and the alternative that has a better chance of removing it is equally horrible. Sariam, man, falai wahe. I know I'm going to be very popular. They're calling me everything, but
I get your passion. I get your passion about, UDP changing the leadership mantle. But as I said, that strategist mode, that drive, motivation to see things like, mix up a little bit. I get it. But what I'm trying to say too is, don't draw conclusions just yet. I think UDP is the biggest opposition party, is very vibrant, very diverse, and I think at the right time, if the folks, again, the folks who are mandated to choose a leader at some point, if there is a change of leadership, they will take the necessary action. We don't, per se, we don't have to do it 2024. No, we don't, 2022. It doesn't have to happen. But what I'm saying is, before the next election, if there should be changes, folks know that very well. They will make the change, make the necessary adjustment, and the party will come together and just vie for the presidency.
Yeah, listening to Yunus is basically saying, I mean, come 2026, it looks like if Dabo is still healthy, and God knows, I mean, we're all praying for his health, everyone's health, no doubt, and that he should be the man. They can still go to him as the flag bearer to run against Barrow. I mean, do you also believe in that?
I listened to Dabo's interview with Buba Gajiko. As I said, the conclusion that I draw, I mean, yeah, sometimes people mischaracterize people's position, but I think Dabo, based on that interview I heard, is that Dabo is open for change. I mean, he knows the people elected him. They make him, the delegates choose him. I mean, it's always good to have change, but at some point, I'm not going to draw, because saying that they shut down Talib, you're saying that, but this is the man. No. But Musa, you have to be fair to UDP.
How do you, what do you call an open system, an open, competitive, democratic system?
No. But they did not shut him. They did not shut him down, because the folks that are throwing those things on the on Facebook, those people don't even have right to vote.
Negro,
but
please.
No, hold on a second. Here's the thing. I always say, when they say, oh, UDP Sagarek, UDP, they just like insult. Well, there are honorable people within UDP that don't insult, right? You got some outliers up here, and you have this in every political party. There are people who will say what they want to say here. But I saw Talib sitting right at Janjambre in his yellow fatigue, motivated to take this party to the next level. That's what I saw. And again, you have to manage expectation, right? If you felt that at some point, timing is necessary, right? Right. So you don't
what is your this timing thing that you kept kind of going out?
No, because I think
this timing thing?
You're putting too much emphasis. You're putting too much emphasis into 2022.
Let me tell you about...
No. Hold on. Let me finish this. You're putting too much emphasis at this Congress. What I'm trying to say is, this particular Congress is to adjust the internal operation operanda of UDP, structure it administrative-wise. What matters is 2 years before the general election, the executive and the flag bearer, that's more important to me. And I think, when that time comes in, right, UDP will make the necessary
Right.
adjustment.
Let me flesh out your timing issue that you kept bringing back. Your timing issue, like most UDP supporters, they'll be like, you know what? We want to make sure that we manage this well, stability. We don't want cracks and fragments and things like that. All of us will leave Janjambure under the same tent. And the best way to do that, the safest way, is to leave it under the hands of the leadership of Mr. Dabo. I get that. You know what is going to happen? The same thing is going to happen the eve of selecting a flag bearer. He is going to be the man left standing because people are going to say, hey, don't do that there. If you create that problem, we're going to go into these elections with a divided party. That's when it becomes even, I'm telling you, and Dabo will become the default. He'll be like, you see that Dabo man? I mean, let's just go into this. It's safer. He's a safe candidate. We go out there and campaign. And you know what, my good friends, let me remind you this. You can repackage it any way you want. You go into 2026 with Dabo, you lose. I'm telling you, you lose. It's unfortunate. I'm hoping upon hope that that's not the result. But my strategic political instinct tells me that's where you guys are heading. And when that happens, look, this would have been, for me, if I were hired to be, I know Sundu is dying now, to be the advisor of the party, I would have said, nominate a Talib Bensouda. Come out of Janjamburing with excitement and change, with youthfulness. I mean, a breath of fresh air, a totally new party. Then you repackage, take it to the Gambian people that already know that Barrow is bad for us. We can see it. This is the alternative, different, fresh, young, totally different party, expansive, feel and know them. If that were to happen, I bet you the United Democratic Party would have a hell of a chance, a hell of a message to take it to the Gambian people. But no. It's the same old, same old. Elections after elections after elections. And then you come here and tell us the elections were stolen. Then you saw, my friend.
Okay, well, I'm not getting
why
into
people lose elections. You lose elections just like, Donald Trump and his candidates. I'm telling you, candidate selection is important. It's vital in winning elections. It is. But you guys are just going to the same old. I mean, and that's not to, again, respectfully, I will never disrespect Mr. Dabo with what he sacrificed for 20-something years. Like you, no one else, a whole lot of people wouldn't even touch the leadership of the party because it was pretty much, I mean, it was risky business. I get that. You know, he wasn't alone. I mean, you have Ahmad Ba was there also all through these 20 years, Halifa Saleh, the CDA Charters, a whole lot of Gambian people were out there doing the same thing. A lot of people sacrificed, and Mr. Dabo did too as well. But all I'm saying is, Bulen Nurey, your internal democracy is questionable, and that you guys are not promoting any kind of, but Talib dare not even run because of, the kind of reaction that was put out there by the, especially diasporans. They were out there. Look at Sabali, talking about Sabali. Sabali was out there and saying that Mr. Dabo is going to be re-elected. Oh yeah, Sabali wanted Dabo to be re-elected because the only reason that Sabali, one would even talk about him, is because of Mr. Dabo. And now, hurrah, Sabali now, he's the campaign manager of the party. With Sabali campaign manager, the Talib Bensoudas of this world, they have no, Sabali is not going to campaign for Sabali, for Talib Bensouda. We all know he's taking on Talib.
One thing I know for a fact.
Talib Bensouda, Sabali, before you come in and let's kind of shift to Sabali. Oh my God, I do not. And then the United Democratic Party is supposedly something different. Sabali, Presidential Secretary General of the APRC. Sabali, found guilty by a commission of embezzlement. The same individual, his temperament is questionable. Now he has become the face of the party more than anything else, the campaign manager of the party. And you're telling me this is a party that actually wants to be viable and win in 2026? I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe. But I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake.
I'm not going to speak for the individual choices on people's capacity. I have nothing to talk about Sabali's selection at all.
Why not? Why not? Why
Because
not?
I don't want to. Because you
no,
know, I mean,
bro, no.
No, hold on.
Now you are.
But give me a second. I wanted to. Here is why I wanted to. I want to go into what you put a lot of things out here. You said I put a lot of emphasis on Talib. One thing I can tell you, there is a lot of qualified folks who are young, experienced, who actually, quite frankly, has been supporting the party since its inception. They're not politicians out there, but they are qualified. So Talib is not the only person per se if he wants to vie for UDP leadership. But again, I want us to respect the process. UDP is not the only party that has Dabo as a Secretary General for a very long time. There are other political parties too. So I would say, leave this to the delegates to make the choice.
No, you have a take on the selection of Secretary General, but why wouldn't we talk about the selection of a campaign manager of Sabali?
Because I have a different. I have a different.
But let's hear it out. Let's hear it out.
So if I don't have any voting authority,
Sabali
would not.
You do not have any voting authority, but you're talking about the selection of the Secretary General.
Give me a second. Let me play. I speak my mind about things, right? And I'm not scared to do that.
Bro, speak your mind.
I'm trying to say that if I had the voting authority and I was part of that delegates in Adma Janjambure, I will not vote for Sabali.
Tell me, why wouldn't you vote for Sabali?
For my reasons, and I will reserve that for another time. I will not. I will not go deep into what I'm trying to say. Sabali would not be my choice.
Look, you are an independent man, and I know you're a
yes, and that's
so
why
I will not question your guts. I know that you have the guts, but I'm just saying, if we're going to lay it all out, I mean, and talk about a new Gambia and what is good for your party, I, honest to God, do believe that you should be able to publicly and say that, look, I think this selection is a problem, or I think Sabali is the man. Yunus, what say you, man?
Again, I respect the decision of the delegates. But if I had the voting authority,
no, actually, the delegates never had a chance to vote on Sabali. I heard that from the grapevine.
Again, I'm speaking from a personal capacity. I'm saying if I was at Janjambure, Sabali would not be my first choice, and I reserve my judgment. First, Sayus, you got the floor. Go ahead.
My man is what they call is bucky. It's like
I try to understand why he wouldn't comment, but I'm not surprised though, because he once made a video of Sabali, a live video. He was making very valuable points. But then when I went back on the video, I didn't find it on his wall. He's deleted it. So
Who is that?
My big brother, Saria.
Sorry. so he did. So I'm sure it was the call.
Someone must have spoken to him, but it's fine.
Yeah, they did, and you know, sometimes, bro, you know this, but again. As I said, my position hasn't shifted, but I reserve my judgment and I respect the people who made the decision. Life goes on. Do
you have a problem with
but I think one thing that I can assure you.
Right.
2026, where there be a Congress before 2026, I won't be silent, and I will not be in the United States trying to dictate what goes out there. I'll be on the ground. The changes that I wanted to see, I wouldn't be part of that process and see that the process is very transparent. And what I aspire to see, the future of United Democratic Party, I will be down there and be part of that process. That's what I can assure you.
I hope it's not going to be too little, too late.
No, it won't.
You can do the Sir Eunice. What say you, bro?
Okay. For my take, I find it very unfortunate that Sabali is given such platform in our party. But I respect the prerogative of the democratic process.
Democratic process.
I don't know what the party leader and others see in him, because that other members of the party do not have. I don't think he is the most intelligent or the most sophisticated or the most eloquent. I've seen those type of people every corner that I look within the party. But I think he has this closeness to the source of gravity, and that giving him the platform.
What's the source of gravity? You're
source
killing
of
me with your
like I
phrases.
said, was the center of gravity is Dabo. So if he goes to Dabo every day to drink attire, to take photos and quoting the Quran and things like that, our people like kind of things. They start jumping. But when you look at the values and the principles, those are what matters to me. The values and the principles that Sabali stands for. I don't look at the person. What is important? What do you believe in as a person? And he has consistently demonstrated to me in the past. And I'm gonna first of all tell people that think that my issue with Sabali is personal. My issue with Sabali is not personal. Sabali worked in a government, and what Sabali does and what he failed to do has direct consequences on me and my children and my children's future. The reason why I'm stuck here in the United Kingdom is because my government failed me, and all of us really. We would rather be at home if at least some sort of dignity would be available, and that you don't have to try so much to live a dignified life. And this is what we were. We were deprived of dignity. We were led by people who don't believe the ordinary people believe dignity. And so I see our people, many of it, try to overlook Sabali's past just to say, let's move on. And this is a problem because truth cannot be ignored. And I said that in my post today. Truth simply means justice in action. Justice has to happen for everyone to come to terms. But if you bury justice, you ignore justice, it will come in some other form. And I don't know what that would be, but you cannot hold Barrow accountable of neglecting everything that we are in the struggle fought against, and bringing people like Sidin Jai and Fabaka Tombonjata to be like at the top of our country's affairs. People who stood against the will of the Gambian people. And Sabali did not just do that. He didn't just stand in the way of the party. He supported Yahya Jammeh against our party. He on many occasions he stood in platforms saying UDP is a party of destruction, and politics of people like Yahya Jammeh and Aissatou Njai said it cannot be a dirty politics. Sabali, to this day, he never condemned Yahya Jammeh's human rights records, knowing that the UDP is the party, the founding members of that party suffered the most. People like Single Nyasi, blessed memory. These are the founding members of the party who were tortured and killed by Yahya Jammeh. Sabali is not denouncing Single Nyasi's death, because he don't want to do that. He still brags about serving in a government as Secretary General, a government that is notorious for oppressing its citizens and torturing and killing, who brought nothing but utter destruction in our policy. And he went into Janneh Commission, where he was convicted of fraud. He took money from our national treasury for Yahya Jammeh, and the money that could have been spent on providing our people with clean water and electricity. So at one point, he went and gave Yahya Jammeh millions of our money to go and invest it in his cattle business. These are the priorities of Sabally. He went on to insult the Mandinkas, and he's saying he apologized. He didn't apologize for it, because you cannot apologize without showing regret of what you've done. Just by saying it, if I hurt anybody, then I apologize. No, tell us, in your judgment, were you wrong? Did you regret what you did? He went on TV and said and accused UDP of being a fraud party, people who are unpatriotic, people who do who sell attestation, asylum attestation, and people like Ahmad Sane went to prison for that kind of stupidity. So you cannot tell me all this shit should have been forgotten just because you think he is the man to massage the ego of our party all the time. Man, Dabo has done all the work that he should do for that country. He deserves all the respect. He doesn't need anybody to massage his ego, because his ego is supreme based on his action and patriotism. But why should we give him that platform? I don't get it. He's not the most eloquent. He's not the most intelligent. We have people who are well versed in international politics, local politics, but they are ignored, and some other. He is the one they see as a party. But the more they give him portfolio, the more he exploits it for his own gains. And this is what we're gonna be seeing at this point. I'm disappointed, but like I said, UDP is a party for Gambia, and UDP is it has to be tolerant for a bit, but we have to be careful on what we do, who we give platforms to, and we have to also be able to distinguish ourselves from the party that we're trying to oppose, which is the NPP. And the thing is, our politics has been reduced to just us versus them. Us versus them. That's how everything is seen from the lenses of us versus them. And that make anything justifiable as long as it is gonna hurt the opponent, or is gonna put you at the edge of the opponent. And by doing so, we are trampling upon some of our best values as a country that we must stand for and defend, because the values and the principles is what make people consistent. It's what makes a country to groom leaders, better leaders for the future. It cannot be just us. Anyways, I'll stop there.
Like you, I don't know Sabally. I know the public person of Sabally. I mean, some UDP supporters say, "Oh, you hate Sabally." Of course, I do not hate. How the hell can I hate Sabally? And unlike you two, I think he's smart. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say there's an upside to Sabally.